Don't you think you can just slip away without saying hello?
Well, if it isn't the Brigadier General himself.
You haven't talked to me in 2 days.
Well, Alice hasn't had much to say.
Is that it? To everyone? To you? Or just to me?
Well, there's not much to say when she's content with how everything's going.
You told her I didn't know anything. 'Cause I didn't see anything, I don't think anything, I don't...
Of course. Yeah. She knows you've gotten all of the Consular Security Division in line, and well, she thinks it's all wonderful.
Do you know anything about my communications team lead?
No? Should I?
You're lying. What do you know about her?
Who?
My comms team lead.
Well, I don't know. Which one is your comms team lead?
There's only one I would be asking about.
Really? I don't know. I don't
Guess.
know any. What?
Guess which one.
I don't.
Guess
really...
which one I'm asking about.
I don't know which one you're asking.
Just guess!
The one you called in sick.
Now, how did you know that?
Oh, well, you know how it is. I overheard a conversation here or there while I was about.
You don't work here.
People get sick sometimes.
You reckon?
Nah, I'm just the messenger. Don't think of it as a sign or anything, just consider the problem solved. Sorry, but I've got to go. Got some errands to run for Alice. And you know, she doesn't like being kept waiting. So good evening and good travels, yeah?
You're an animal, a Riken piece of work. Defecating all over yourself at the flick of Alice's wrist. Pied Pipering us all towards extinction. Covered in your own merit. You're not her ally, kid. You're her tool.
Hey! Take the lift home tonight. Stretch your legs. Clear your head. It'll do you some good. I promise.
I coach my boys' junior G-ball team. Got a game tonight. Can't be late.
Your boys, no, really. Give your saddle a break. Take the lift. It's okay to be a little late.
Piss off, Gunther. And tell Alice I didn't see anything.
Right, Shane.
Please stand by. Airlock depressurization in progress. Shuttle departure in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shuttle has detached. Warning. Damage detected to airlock. Clear the area immediately. Damage detected to airlock. Clear the area immediately.
Oh, real Shane.
Damage detected to airlock. Clear the area immediately.
Welcome to Dissonant Echoes, an interactive sci-fi podcast set in the Celestial Horizons universe. The year is 2721, and humanity has attempted to scatter itself to the stars. Our story follows one colony, established at the solar system Kepler-62, called Hypatia. 349 years ago, a large colonizing ship crossed the vast interstellar void using an experimental wormhole system. Originally, their plan was to reach Hypatia and build a wormhole anchoring device, known as the Gate, to give them a way to travel almost instantaneously back home. But along the way, their connection to Earth was lost, and the Gate became inoperable. The governing body of the mission, the Gate Network Administration, or GNA, in order to prevent panic, began fabricating messages from the now silent Earth. Because they could not complete the mission, in the centuries that followed, the GNA fell from its place of total authority and now merely manages the various communication and financial networks of the colony. Though now, the various planets in Hypatia are largely self-governing. Some sort of weak national institution has been created to fill the hole the GNA left. The Hypatia Commission is a small, elected body of officials that manages solar system-wide affairs from their offices on Everest Station, the largest and most technologically advanced settlement to date. It serves as a hub and center point for the solar system, and many large organizations, corporations, and institutions have their headquarters there. The GNA is the exception. Its headquarters are located far away on a comparatively small station next to the empty husk of the gate. They do, however, have what they call regional offices on Everest Station, which is where our story begins. Though the bottom levels are principally there to manage the day-to-day concerns of the oligarchs and the station's communications and financial networks, there is a special office for 6 people, 3 pairs of 2, who are technically referred to as analysts. One has to pass through 4 separate security checkpoints to get in and out. An ID-locked door with a guard, a biometric sensor, an EMP generator, and a complete device security scan, a process which takes about 45 minutes. We find ourselves with Carrie Marcan, a seasoned GNA analyst, as they finished showing Alexandria Therio, their new partner, to her desk.
And this is your workstation, complete with a window to the concourse. Congratulations, thus concludes your tour.
What a lovely view.
Get yourself situated. We have work to do, and we're starting it in 5 minutes.
What, no time for coffee? Gotta love GNA workloads.
Are you going to be this night about everything?
No, just the government, really.
If you're so disillusioned with it, why did you apply to work for it?
Oh, I sure didn't apply. I didn't have any choice in the matter.
How so?
Oh, they didn't tell you? Fascinating.
Of course they paired me with somebody who wants to be smart about everything.
Is smart about everything. I guess they needed somebody to think in your division.
No. My last partner died, so I had an opening.
What happened there?
Oh, they didn't tell you? Fascinating.
All right. I'm sorry. I'll get over myself.
Good. Then sit down. Let's get started.
Okay, then.
Let's see what we're writing about today, shall we?
So we just draft messages and then send them up the line for approval? Who would have thought that lying to the general public would have made for a great day job?
More than that, we have to do the research to make sure we can consider the ramifications of whatever we write. It wouldn't do for Earth to show support for something that turned out... Oh, interesting. A government official died last night.
Who?
Brigadier General Valerio Demetrian, head of the Consular Security Division. Preliminary investigations believe it to be some sort of engine malfunction, sources say.
That's unfortunate. So, we're just gonna write something that basically goes, "We're sorry to hear that. May he rest in peace."
Hardly. We're going to conduct a detailed investigation.
Into what? This seems pretty cut and dry to me.
First, this took place about 14 hours ago. Even if a police team was literally standing next to the airlock when it happened, they can't have secured the area, called in some engineers, gathered up the pieces of the shuttle, and determined the cause of the explosion in that amount of time. Especially because the labs would have officially opened only an hour and a half ago. Second, this isn't an official statement. There's been no press conference yet, but somebody has started speculating to the news. CSD headquarters is not the kind of place where eyewitnesses are wandering about after hours. So who are these sources? And third, important people like him do not just die in accidents. They are too rich for cheap malfunctions, and they are not too busy to hire somebody to do regular maintenance correctly. All things taken into account, I believe it is accurate to call this an assassination.
Scheiße, Marcan. Bravo. Look at you, Holmes.
Welcome to your first day as a GNA analyst for the Earth Communications team. You're in the big leagues now, Therio, and I expect you to pay attention and learn quickly. I do not have time to babysit you.
Uh-huh. So why did they do it?
Excuse me?
So why assassinate this guy? That's the last step anybody sane takes in getting their way. Anybody with connections to him has to have some hand in politics, which means they've got money, influence, sponsorship, smear campaigns, a whole box of other resources to deal with people they don't like. So why kill him?
To stop him from doing something, perhaps? We should see if we can't get docking records or access to the security systems there to tell us who was around then.
Okay, how do we do that?
We're the GNA. If I ask nicely, they'll comply.
Yeah, and how long will that take?
I can send off the message right now, but it may take a few days to hear back.
Okay, while you're doing that, I have an idea about how we could get started now. I'm assuming this line works.
What are you using it for?
To call someone, obviously. I know the mechanic who runs the shop that fixes all the government shuttles. Maybe he can give us a lead. What? You said we needed to get to work. So I'm getting to work.
You know the personal contact information of the government contractor who does shuttle maintenance?
Yep.
How?
I don't have to tell you.
Star Cutters, salvage, repair, and maintenance. This is JJ speaking.
Jonah Jimmy Jacob Johnson. It's Alexandria Therio.
The hell line is this? What are you doing calling me on a strange number?
Work line, bud. How you holding up?
You got yourself a job?
I know. Bless me, right?
You that desperate for cash? I thought you were just swimming in it.
It's a long story.
No, what you spend it on? How you blow a fortune like that? Can't you just get
I'm
more?
not out of cash. I'm just working now. Got a question for...
Hold up, kid, hold up.
Don't got the time. You do any work on that shuttle that exploded last night? Can you tell me anything about it?
Wait, what?
Shuttle last night. Kaboom. You ever worked on it?
Hey, I really can't talk about any work I do for my clients. Privacy laws and all that.
Blast that. Stop bragging with me.
No, I'm serious. Can't talk about it. Besides, there's nothing to say anyways. I don't know nothing about it.
No, seriously. Stop
And
bragging.
then there's a customer on the line, so I gotta take care of them. It's good to hear from you, though. Congrats on the job, and, see you around?
Well, that was fascinating to watch, and unfruitful.
He knows something.
He did not seem willing to share.
Let's go pay him a visit then, shall we? We can take a lift over.
A visit.
He'll talk more in person.
Very well, then.
It is a body of 8 individuals, 2 elected from each major settlement zone in the solar system every 4 years, plus 1 generally elected consul to sit at the head. Originally, the commission was set up to serve as an extension of Earth here in Hypatia. But as decades passed, it became apparent that nobody from Earth would ever be able to get to them, and the commission began to take full executive and legislative authority unto itself. We find ourselves joining one older gentleman, a commissioner of one of the planets, as he sits in his office, illuminated only by a wall of screens showing 24/7 news programs, security camera feeds from throughout his offices, and various computer file structures for easy access. His eyes flick constantly between the headlines and the cameras until they fixate on one young man confidently making his way down the hall towards the commissioner's office.
Open it.
Hi, Chamenski. It's great to see your ever-smiling face.
Ah, Mr. Gunther. I wasn't expecting you today. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Wow, with a pleasure. That may be the nicest thing you've ever said about me. Can I come in?
Of course, pull up a chair. Can I get you anything? Scotch? Bourbon?
No. Alice doesn't like when I'm drinking on the job.
I'm sure she's very happy with the transportation bill I got passed last week. She owns the regulation companies, does she not?
Oh, yes, very happy.
And I hope she appreciated the tweaks I made to my address last month at the wormhole celebration.
Where you referenced the rabbit hole.
Exactly. We have fallen down this rabbit hole, but we have made it a wondrous land of our very own.
I didn't hear anything from her about it, but I'm sure she appreciated it.
Oh, forgive me. Did you just get in? You must be starving, always working so much. Can I have somebody bring you something?
No, Commissioner. I'm just here to ask about the digital infrastructure bill.
Oh, it's coming along nicely. I've got the rest of the commission splitting hairs on a couple of insignificant details, so when they've tired themselves out on those, I'll be able to slip the whole thing right through. Alice's proposals are, as ever, very well worded.
All right, Commissioner. I know when someone's trying to bathe me in CO2. What is it?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to make sure that you and Alice are happy with the work I'm doing for you.
What makes you worried otherwise?
Nothing in particular. I was just concerned that you were here to remove me.
What? Oh, you're joking me. Why would you ever think that?
Alice just assassinated the head of the Consular Security Division, who I appointed without so much as a ping of a warning.
But something totally unrelated, I promise. You don't need to be worried. Your name hasn't come up yet. Again, I'm here to check up on that bill. Did you have to make any changes?
You know what I am capable of getting done. You know that I can get the whole commission to agree with me. That's why you pay me. Nobody else has that sort of influence, or my decades of experience doing this.
So were there any changes or what?
No changes. I just added some things to the initial proposal, so when the bottom of the commission pushes back, we have some things we can compromise on and cut, leaving them happy and us with what we actually wanted.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. Alice will be happy to see that go through.
Of course.
Speaking of assassinations, you'll need to make a new appointment to the head of the CSD. Because we're off season, you should just promote one of the colonels in the division to Brigadier General. Is that right?
Yes. I was thinking about this. There are 3 candidates. Reynolds, here at Everest Station, or Washburn, near the planets, and Duval at the belt. Reynolds is a greasy opportunist, so I don't think we should give him any more authority.
Nah, agreed.
I was thinking we appoint Duval. According to this, she's a true believer in the word of the law, enforcing mining regulations to the letter, always on top of paperwork, punctual and thorough.
Nah. Alice thinks she's too, strong-willed. Would be hard to control.
Not if you do it correctly. Pass the right laws, make it official, and she'll willingly tie herself to it.
Yeah, well, Alice was thinking you went with Washburn. A total spineless, trout-shouldered troglodyte and all that. All you have to do is look over them funny and they'll bend over backwards to make you happy.
Of course. We'll help Alice do whatever she needs. I'll get working on that. Just know that sometimes these things get complicated. Politics are messy. And I may not be able to get everybody to agree with me, especially given how the Belters are already excited to try and pawn Duval off of their territory. They want somebody else more troglodyte-ish, as you say.
Is that so?
Of course. I'll do everything I can to get Washburn appointed, but sometimes commissioners can be difficult.
Don't I know it? I'll let Alice know you're on the job then. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go. I'm late.
For a very important date?
Flew right into that one, now didn't I? But yes, all of my dates are very important. Good travels, friend.
Good travels. Send Alice my regards. Get me Commissioner Varadkar's office direct.
Oh, good travels, Chamenski. Are you still there? You'll have to forgive my delay. I was in an important meeting. I mean, not too important. How can I help you?
Yes, good travels, Commissioner. Don't you worry about a thing. You are a friend. And truly, I need good friends. Forgive my interruption, but I wanted to talk to you about the opening in the CSD. And what we needed to do to get Duval appointed, but to make it look like Washburn just barely lost.
Hundreds of millions of kilometers away from Everest Station, a single message is transmitted from the asteroid belt. It is from the ship, the CSD Centurion, an angular and sleek vessel that is one of the few original mission ships brought with the first colonists through the wormhole. Even though it is close to 400 years old, it remains better than any of the new vessels that have been built in Hypatia. Much of the advanced development of the solar system was dependent on the ability to travel and trade with Earth through the gate. But when that never happened, Hypatia had to begin from scratch. A society with a population of just a few million, even with centuries of time, can't replicate the infrastructure and industry of a society with tens of billions. And, as such, Hypatia is unable to replicate some technologies and processes from Earth. This makes original mission ships impossible to replace and incredibly valuable.
Major Anchorage, I received your message about the Brigadier General. When the news reached me, I ordered an immediate maintenance review of all large and small vessels under my command, which is ongoing. My detachment and I are en route to Ibera Station as per protocol. I've left Major Belkar of the 2nd Detachment in charge of this investigation. 2 weeks ago, we got scattered, disparate reports of a particularly violent incident. We have confirmed that at least one ship was destroyed, if you can believe it. But the other ships involved in the conflict are nowhere to be found. Now, it's likely that the dispute was between smugglers, but it's concerning that it escalated to the point that it did. What's more, it seems to have affected the whole region. Since that happened, transit has been down 16%, and calls to our regional HQ have almost disappeared entirely. No rowdy miners, no jurisdiction disputes, nothing. I think the civilian population knows something, but doesn't want to tell us. Reports from several of my detachments makes me think that they're scared of something. All this considered, I hope that the political theater that waits for us can be over quickly. Something is happening at the belt, and I need to be back there to get to the bottom of it. Signed, Colonel Joan Lavinia Duval.
Next week, a ship mechanic is going to be trapped between who he knows and what he knows. A commissioner is going to try his hand at cards, and a military officer is going to find herself at the crux of a conspiracy. Until then, as you brave the void, good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you for joining us for this first episode of Celestial Horizons Dissonant Echoes. Like Shattered Sleep before it, you'll be able to interact with and influence the outcome of the story, though our modes of interaction are a bit different this season. First, a choose-your-own-adventure style video is up already, called Operation Valent Edge, where your decisions will determine how certain events in the story play out. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that will only be available on our YouTube channel. More videos like it are on their way. The second way you can influence the story is by joining the Council of Eberus, a voting body with legitimate legislative authority and free reign to do whatever they want to do in the world of the story. This council is made of Patreon supporters. You can learn more about that council on our website or by checking us out at patreon.com/Celestial Horizons. We've also put out a number of videos about it. Most of all, we want to thank Voidspond, our corporate overlord who made this possible, and John Parker and Anonymous, the armchair generals who approved these dangerous operations. This episode features music by Marcus Richardson and Nathan Young, with performances by Carl Ashby as Marcan, Alex Farnsworth as the narrator, Jessica Gillick as Furio, Orion Howard as Chamenski, Olivia Oki as Duval, and Nathan Young as Gunther. Additional voices by Ellen Ford, Orion Howard, Christine Smith, and James Smith.